they are emerging trends and they are evolving. How do you think this will help a lot of businesses from healthcare, education, some care for that matter, to help drive seamless operations? Unlike the generative AI, we generate the content automatically. Agent AI is nothing but it's an autonomous system which could replace human and perform some actions and make decisions based on that action. As responsible citizens of India and corporate professionals, I think we should also put the measures that we don't use this technology for unethical things. Hello and welcome to the second edition of Emerge Tech, the Multicity Roadshow brought to you by the Mainstream. I am Simran Shivalkar, your host for today, and I have with me Ms. Hema Bindu Vijayalam. She is the head of cloud and infrastructure at Lloyds Technology. Ms. Bindu, thank you once again for joining us and sharing the stream here, and truly delighted to hear your insights. I'm equally delighted and blessed to be part of the Mainstream event today. With that, I would like to understand from you how has your experience been at this conference so far, with special emphasis on AI, cloud computing, and of course cybersecurity being at the center of attention. How do you envision this conference? It's a very thoughtful question. Thank you, Simran, for asking that. I'm formerly cloud. Before that, I was hitting cyber, and I was completely leading before a digital forensic product team. So cyber is very close to my heart. I got several awards in cybersecurity, presented several deep technical conferences in cyber forensics. So even cloud, cyber, and AI, everything is interrelated, and these are like new buzzwords these days, right? Everybody want to learn either do a degree in cybersecurity or in AI or be part of the cloud, right? But yes, they are emerging trends and they are evolving. So if you understand for a layman, cloud is something like infrastructure, right? We want to move something from on-prem to a cloud server, GCP, Azure, or even AWS, right? So if you want to optimize your cost in terms of the infrastructure, where you can, so once the software development lifecycle is done, you use cloud to deploy the applications. That is where enterprises use it, and it actually helps in cost optimization. Artificial intelligence is a new technology where it actually replaces humans with machines, right? So anything, content, design, anything you need, or just ask Copilot or ChatGPT or any other generative AI tool. They're just giving the answers in seconds. So that's the power of AI, right? And security is a fundamental thing. All this, right? Even in AI or cloud, so privacy, security should not be compromised, because in cloud, your data is on cloud provider, right? On different server, which you don't have the control, right? If it is in Azure, it's controlled by Microsoft. Then what will happen to your security, data, privacy, especially in healthcare, finance, where the personal information is so important, right? That is where the digital security comes into the mix. Even with exposure to this DFC and AI getting with agent AI, I think there is scope to improve on the security as well. So, absolutely. Technologies like AI and with platforms like DMC coming up, of course, there is a growing concern of security as well. So thank you once again, Ms. Bindu. Next, because you have special experience when it comes to cloud technology now, you've already have been a wonder in tech. Cloud definitely had its era, and we still see cloud technologies, a lot of platforms up and coming when it comes to cloud technologies. In your view, how do you think this will help a lot of businesses from healthcare, education, How careful that matter to help drive seamless operations.
Exactly. So if we can embrace the opportunities that cloud and AI provides us, I think we need to harness, right? It's an era of agentic AI. What is an agentic AI? Unlike generative AI, we generate the content automatically. Agentic AI is nothing but it's an autonomous system which could replace human and perform some actions and make decisions based on that action. So let me tell you an analogy. Imagine you have a personal assistant called Jaya. Sure. And Jaya actually manages your calendars, take decisions, do some predictions and everything, right? So imagine a machine is doing for you behalf of a personal assistant and it is 24 by 7 hours. It doesn't need to eat or sleep, but it continuously learning what large language models. And the results are wonderful because you can optimize the cost, you can improve the efficiency, and improve the quality. If you could relate this analogy to enterprise, that's the power of agent AI. And it is not only in healthcare, fintech, legal, education, everywhere we can use agent, where there are a number of use cases where we can use advantages.
Fantastic. And because Gen is the era of AI, and we've already seen Gen AI taking the center stage, and of course now it's the time for agentic AI. You also said there are a lot of use cases that are proving these technologies could be the next, perhaps the next future. Any special thing that you would highlight?
Actually, last year is like a generative AI year where I predicted in 2024 beginning leverage the LinkedIn post also. Companies will adopt and embrace generative AI approaches because it would actually reduce the cost, replace some of the remaining jobs like content creation or creating code and everything, right? Now I think it's era of agentic AI, which would replace so many things. But again, it will not replace humans, right? Again, there is a human that needed to train the model and also validate it. For example, in healthcare, there is a factor of trust with the doctor that you go if you know the doctor. If it is a machine or a robot, will you trust that? No, right? So 90%, 99% that might be accurate, but 1% need interest, right? So that is where I think in human interaction will help. So AI will replace the jobs from the people who do not know how to use AI to the people who know how to use it. So you just need to know like how do you use those, how do you build those tools, how do I generate the agents for each of the use cases. For example, to take in education, right? I feel that what I studied and what I'm doing, I think, you learn more of working, and it's like that only helped me to get a job. It's on the job. A practical learning is important as an Asian system. So I think this all these classroom learnings, it would go away, and it will be the agentic learning. You can build an agent to help the children to understand what are these strengths, weaknesses, what they want to do, and learn, create self-learning courses for the kids and give them the feedback, write the exams, instantly they get the result. And it's like open classroom, everybody will be sitting and doing stuff. Agentic products or building agents, and whoever is like practically smart and adopt to this, I think they would survive because the market is very crowded.
I said so, and because I like the way you also put like maybe AI will not replace your jobs, but somebody using AI will definitely wait. Right on with that, because you'll also be speaking on a dialogue agentic AI and Jet AI. When we talk about AI in general, we also we do consider the other side of AI, Harvard, the ethical use of AI. I could throw some light on that.
Even in cyber, right? You can use AI for actually in fraud detection, prevention analysis. Now the cyber frauds are happening. So it's like technology is born and dead, right? So there is always the other side of coin also, right? So as we're advancing to the technology of deep seeker knowledge, there is also other side of the coin where they can use it for unethical things, right? Which is not right. So I think as professionals, we need to understand what is good for the society, and each one should have that individual social responsibility. Take the measurements, which is ethical, that should not destroy for the other side of mankind and doing like unethical things. For example, in cyber, right? They can also use this techniques and AI mechanisms. They are like cyber criminals are like 100 times have more smarter than us, and they can also build agents to hack the systems. So I think we should be aware of what's happening in the society and also take preventive measures. But as a responsible citizens of India and corporate professionals, I think we should also put the measures that we don't use this technology for unethical things.
Absolutely. So, right from the business point of view, as well as when it comes to people who should quality when we talk about AI and the ethical use, would it be safe to assume that the witness is on movements whether we how to leverage this technology?
The answer is in this question itself, like it is all in our hands, right? So if I give you a pen and you hold it, it is all in your hands. If I leave it, it falls down, right? So I think, as you rightly pointed, onus is on individual person, and each one of us are responsible for. I think we should teach the same ethics and values to kids and the next generation, so that we also understand the value system and pass on to the generation of generations.
But he said so. And my last aim is that with conferences like Emostic when you might live happen today, how do you think these conferences and or videos come across it elaborate and it's so much of extreme information on the key focus of AI and cybersecurity? How do these events actually help leaders or even audiences in today's digital era?
Oh, thank you for asking this question. I should thank Kishore for initiating this. I was really not sure till yesterday that I was questioning, but I'm really glad that I was able to make it. And I thank all the participants and your team and you for your time. It's Friday afternoon, right? And there's what number of audience that are present, which is good for the people who are coming and investing time. That means they're not like a normal kind of audience, right? They're coming there, writing whatever is said. Somebody with 20 plus years experience, 25 years coming and talking their learnings. That means there is some value add they're getting, right? So I think having this initiative on conferences would help everyone, even a non-technical person in his day van can understand. I was just telling Khushbu, like this Emerge Tech Trends is like a Netflix for technology, where you are creating a multi-folded, infectious chain of events that in all cities, right? And not only in India, even all across the world, in Seattle, Dubai, and she mentioned places across the world. I don't remember the exact names, but I think it's a good thing. You're spending a lot of time and effort, and that can be beneficial to the audience. Definitely it will. I was really excited to see the Oscar movie, Women in Tech. It's really emotionally attached because many a times I was the only woman in the room. There are times where I was not treated inclusive. I think it is changing now, but I'm talking about 20 plus years back, where there are very few women in STEM, and it's very rare to see women. And thanks, you are collaborating Women in Cloud. And I was a Woman in Cloud, so I there to support and contribute for this great initiative. And by the way, I came from a rural background, middle class family, non-English medium school. So who can more understand apart from me what's the importance of these conferences and events? What can actually bring a lot of value and learnings? And I think at this point in time, we should give back to the community to help them to successful. I think mainstream, entire mainstream team is doing a great job in those two years old. And I'm there to support.
So thank you so much, Ms. Vithik. I am infinitely moved with. And I think it is was majorly for the motivation of the moving point the student happiness days and it's a team effort at the end. But thank you once again for your kind words. Last week, any key recommendations or a word of advice to the coming generation of women, especially those who want to make their mark in the technology space?
One message is be confident yourself and be committed. It is because I was very adamant. I was very, what do we call, sankal. Right? If I want to do this, I will do this. No matter it is. I will not leave from chair. I will not think of anything. I need this. I have to do this. I will get this right. So if you have that willpower, things will fall in place and nature will conspire your dreams.
Absolutely. This conversation with Bengal has been incredibly insightful and inspirational for me, and I'm sure our audience have a lot to take away from the sessions. While we conclude this, I definitely look forward to connecting back with you again.
Thank you. Likewise.
Thank you, Prithvi.